Um, European witch burnings at the stake are all hoaxes, just like modern shootings. Who is being burned? Not many, not any. I think most of these so-called witch burnings were hoaxes, just like shootings are now. Okay, there could be a stray person burned here and there by someone who was violent, but there was no systematic. Uh, though I'm not a Christian, I'm not going to take part in feminist lies. The church never burned anyone. The invaders burned villages, but the church was always just brought the Bible. The church was ruled by black men, and these were not violently, systematically burning hundreds of women at the stake. With their property and sacred trees which brought food destroyed, the matriarchy had to submit to the coming patriarchy or die of starvation. There was simply nothing else for them. I think these villages were being burned. But were witches who dance and yell at the moon being burned? No. They just want you to feel sorry for them, these witches who dance and yell at the moon. These are the feminists, the witches who dance and yell at the moon. Okay, those are feminists. And they want you to believe that at some point in the past their ancestors were burned. And then they gain energy to use, emotional energy to use in their witchcraft. Okay, they're evil feminists. Okay, they don't want a matriarchy. See, they destroyed matriarchy. Okay, they just want to destroy society. And I'm not saying, alright, go for it, destroy society, because society is evil. What is it, like a bunch of bankers who rule, with fake names and bank accounts that everybody has to pay taxes? That society is disgusting. But what would they put in place of it? They'd put like feudal serfdom, okay, with them ruling over everybody else with an iron fist. Okay, that's why they have a fist logo, for their Earth First, and that for their communistic ideas. Okay, but these feminists are all trannies. Okay, it's like they're not run by actual women. Actual women are catering to their families. They're not feminists. Okay. They were rad feminists for a little while, and then they quit that because they realized that rad feminist was also a psyop. So the women who are dancing and yelling at the moon were not being burned. They in fact did the burning of the villages ruled by sane women who knew that menstruation was a curse. Okay, all the knowledge, the ancient knowledge, was destroyed. Okay, they destroyed these villages, and then behind them, the Christian men picked up the ashes with their communistic Bible teachings. Get everybody to accept their coming new slavery and tell them that the king was put in place by God. Okay, that it's best to just go along with it and not revolt, because just make a change in the way they view their mind, and live with less. The idea that food is just earthly. Get them focusing on the future, on a mythical afterlife, so that they don't complain about their current life. Okay, the idea that God will feed them with words or of the Bible rather than real foods. The idea of that fasting is, for a very long time is spiritual, and although fasting does have its does heal. I mean, especially when you're ill, it could definitely heal your body, but they brought a pseudo spiritual component to it, right? In a sense that when you're fasting, you can get contacted by many different entities, and you better know who you're getting contacted by, because you better know whether or not it's really a devil, because most of them are devils. Okay, so I know from experience. And then so they would say about the meticulous records that the church kept. What about those meticulous records? There's so many records of killings and torturings, and I would say Wikipedia is meticulous uh, too. And it's meticulously full of lies. Give it up, feminists. There were no witch burnings. I met some people who had past life memories of being burned alive at stake. Well, those are just devils giving them visions. Okay? So, with their property and sacred trees that brought food destroyed, the matriarchy had to submit to the coming patriarchy or